What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, you guys. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Let's get in here. Last night was Married to Medicine reunion part 1. So, first of all, thank you, Bravo, for not stretching this out and making this a 3-part reunion. Thank you, Bravo, for not stretching out. Now, and I know they left us on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but thank you for not stretching out the Jackie Simone drama of it all. Because honestly, let's call a thing a thing. That's one of the storylines we care about, right? So I think the fact that we are not stretching this out to a 3-part reunion gave us some stuff to really talk about, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's get in here. Get in here, get in here, get in here in my Armand Wiggins voice, and let's talk about it. All right, season 12 reunion part 1. First of all, can we talk about the fact that now I don't know if I heard from a little birdie that the reason why Dr. Heavenly was reduced to a friend of role is because she wouldn't talk about she wouldn't really get into what happened with her son. And as a result of her making a decision not to speak on what happened with her son, that's why she was demoted. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, like I said, that's what a little birdie told me. Now they saying, oh, because she's running for office, but she's not the first Bravo celebrity to run for office. So I don't believe that's what it is. I believe that they wanted her to talk about her son more and she wouldn't do it. But I don't know that to be true. But with that being said, I mean, could any of us tell that Dr. Heavenly was a friend of? I mean, first of all, she was on the stage the whole time. They didn't treat her like a friend of. They didn't make her come out with Brandy and with Angel. So she was on the stage the entire length of the reunion. At least so far we noticed. You know, for part 1, she was there the whole time. And I'm certain she's going to be there for part 2. Her husband showed up, which they let friends of significant others show up if they choose to. We have seen that in the past where friends of, wait a minute, well, I can, listen, it's too much of a history for me to go down every single friend of. Dr. Heavenly was definitely given main cast. Now, to be fair, she didn't talk as much as she normally does. But what she was doing, she was pissing me off because she was doing that mumbling under her breath and that ad-lib and stuff. Now, that was pissing me off, that the ad-libbing and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's that. If it were a mental health thing, she can't speak on it. Yes, she can. Why can't she speak on it if it's her son? We'll get to that. It sucks for Heavenly because she didn't get the same pay. Well, again, I'm sure she willingly accepted the pay cut, you know. But hey, but we'll get to it. We get to it. Right, exactly. GCC. That's what I was I was told that other Bravo celebrities ran for so we know it wasn't because she was running for office. We know that's not what it was. At least in my opinion, that's not what it was. I honestly believe what my little birdie told me was that she chose not to speak on her son. But we're going to get into it. And next week's episode is 75. I'd rather 2 75-minute episodes than y'all to try to squeeze blood out of these turnips. You know what I mean? Hellishly ain't talking much for fear of Simone or Toya forcing her son issue. I think she's not talking too much because she is running for office and she don't want to say too much. But we're gonna get into to Dr. Heavenly because what I think Dr. Heavenly did do was worse than a lot of what she has done. We'll get into it. Let me get to my notes, y'all. Oh, let's get to these notes. All right. Okay, here we go. So, of course, Andy has to bring up the elephant in the room that Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone did not share a dressing room, and right now their relationship is not in a good space. So that was, we knew that was going to be a conversation. And I think it's an important conversation to have. And like I said, we're going to get to it in a few minutes. We're going to get to it. I think that was an important conversation to have. Listen, Kay just said he loves Simone's outfit at Angel's event. I'm going to say this. I feel like Simone has been doing better. I think she's gotten a stylist these last maybe 3 to 4 seasons after she got her little tummy tuck. She's been looking real cute. You can tell she's been wanting to show off that new body, yaddy, yaddy. And I'm not saying that to shame her. But she looks good. She looks good. And I'm not mad at her. Listen, I done told y'all a million times, if I had the money for that kind of cosmetic surgery, trust and believe, I'm nipping and tucking. Okay? I'm sucking it all out and I'm nipping and tucking it back. Okay? Moving right along. Simone needed some new humidity spray. Yeah, her hair didn't make it. When you look at her at the end of the episode, her hair did not make it, honey. Listen, it didn't make it. So we see Jackie and first of all, Toya got into it with everybody, but I feel like Toya created a lot of problems with everybody for Toya to get into it with everybody, right? So Jackie sort of jumped off the cliff real fast. Simone blocked you on Twitter. What you say, DB? What did you say? She wasn't fat by any stretch of the imagination, but she had a little mommy pouch. If you go back maybe about 4 seasons, she had a little mommy pouch. She was not fat by any stretch of the imagination. But when for some women, once you have a baby, you get a little pocket. It ain't nothing you can do about it. You get a little. You can diet, you can exercise, you can do sit-ups, you can do the leg lifts, you can do all the things. But those muscles, sometimes that muscle just does not go back into place. It's a muscle. And for some women, they can snap back. And for others, not so much. And again, if you go back maybe about 4 seasons, you go back. Yeah, she had a little mommy pouch. Simone also doesn't believe in diet and exercise. Well, there you go. And again, I'm not saying that with no shade. I can just tell she did it, Toya has had liposuction. You can tell that Toya has had liposuction. Again, no shade to nobody. Heavenly has been very clear about things that she's done. She done told y'all that she had the sleeve put in. She done had lipo. She done had a butt lift. She done told y'all. I mean, she's been very transparent. Now we know that she lied about a lot of stuff, but she done been very transparent about that. Her cosmetic surgeries and things of that nature. And you can look and you can see it. So anyway, V Spencer, you can look at the belly button. See, you know the trick. Look at that belly button. You can tell. I think all of them have had breast implants. Most of them have. But anyway, again, I say that with no shade. Honestly, I say that with no shade at all. Again, moving right along. So, looks like a coin slot. You could definitely tell. And it's funny because now I'll be looking when they wear bikinis and stuff. I be looking at women like, oh yeah. But again, it's not with any shade. But when people get liposuction, they go through the belly button. So you can kind of tell when people have had lipo because they go through the belly button. So you can see, hold on a quick second, y'all. Hold on, quick second. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. So Shut up, Cajun. So they started with Toya's package. And again, Toya definitely deserves first chair this season because Toya has been in the middle. I mean, I didn't realize how many people Toya got into it with this season until they started. They show her package, but we saw her get into it with Dr. Heavenly, where her and Dr. Heavenly had words. You know, we saw her because it was Dr. Heavenly and Simone and Toya. I'm sorry, and Toya. But that's when they were kind of going back and forth about the husbands. And, you know, Heavenly was like, I'm sorry that my husband just loved me better, or some crazy child that they got to talking about. They brought up the fact that Heavenly said something about Eugene and his piece, whether it's big enough or not. Let me tell you something. This the part I don't like about Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly staying in that shit. You meant exactly what you said. Y'all were in a group chat. Y'all were arguing. She was coming at you about the purse. You was probably mad that she had made comments about your son. So you made a comment about Eugene's penis. Okay? Let's just call a thing a thing. Girl, that's what you said and that's what you meant. And you were insinuating that it wasn't that big. And you were insinuating that your husband's is and that Eugene's isn't, and that Eugene not satisfying Toya, and that's why she's so mean. Girl, stand in it because that's what you said. That's what you said. You meant it. You said it and you meant it. Y'all were fighting. Was it low? Sure. Some people might say, damn, you went too far. But some people might also say y'all was fighting and it is what it is. All is fair in love and war. Like, whoever. But at the end of the day, girl, you said it and you meant it. Now, on the flip side, Toya, girl, you was really coming at her about a purse that may or may not be real. Girl, it's not your money. Why do you care? Like, and I know these women aren't real friends. So let me preface before I say my next statement. I know that they're not real friends. But do you really think that if one of my friends showed up at dinner with a designer bag, you really think I would clock whether it was real or not? Do you think I would put that much energy into figuring it out? You know why? Because I didn't buy it. And if she or he decide to walk around with something on that's not designer and it's fake, I don't care. I just don't. And for Toya to be putting that much energy into whether Dr. Heavenly has a real Balenciaga bag or not, Dr. Heavenly done told all of y'all she don't care that much about this kind of shit. Dr. Heavenly been carrying that same Louis Vuitton bag for about 4 years now. That same Louis Vuitton bag with the red, with the, you know, the red leather on it. Baby, it is the same bag. And the only reason why I clock it is because y'all know I like designer bags. And I just noticed it's the same one. But if Dr. Heavenly were my friend in real life, do you think I would get in the car and be like, girl, you still carry that old beat up bag? You need to, come on, let's go down to the Louis Vuitton store. You need a new one. Girl, I wouldn't care. So the fact that you put that much energy, and also when it comes to those type of insults, you have to make sure you're dealing with somebody that's going to care. Baby, Dr. Heavenly doesn't care. Notice, at least not on camera, I never saw Dr. Heavenly even acknowledge, argue, dispute, confirm. I mean, I think I heard her say it is real, but I think that was the extent of the conversation. She's not the person that you can embarrass. Now, Quad is the one. If you try to insinuate something Quad had was fake, then you're gonna get a rise out of Quad, because Quad is one of those people that care about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Remember on Real Housewives of Potomac when Karen wore that Fendi jumpsuit and they were saying it wasn't real because the way the F's were stitched and it wasn't real? Karen, you won't get a rise out of. Karen's going to have an issue with you insinuating she's wearing something that's not real. Heavenly is not one of those people. Why are you wasting your energy on her? That's not the kind of stuff. Call Heavenly broke. That is what will offend Heavenly. Call her broke. Tell her she's not a good mama. Tell her husband don't love her. That's the stuff that's going to get a rise out of Dr. Heavenly. Tell her she got a fake bag. You are never going to get that response. You just not. Now, on the flip side, Andy was a little shady when he brought up Toya's new house. He was a little shady, but he wasn't wrong. He was shady, but he wasn't wrong when he talked about how many houses you had. And Toya, come here, girl. Baby, come here. Toya, when you get to saying certain things, you got to remember who you're talking to, girlfriend. You got to remember who you're talking to, boo-boo. You sat there and said every single one of them houses you bought and paid for. No, you didn't. A couple of them houses you were renting. I'm sorry. Are we going to pretend like she didn't rent some of those houses? Are we not going to sit here and pretend like that her and Eugene had a whole conversation and they talked about their house was their biggest liability and they had to sell the house and they were renting? Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that, Toya. Now, again, let's be clear. You still live in houses that I can't afford to buy. We're going to be honest. You still living in $1 million houses, baby. I don't have no $1 million house. I don't even have a $500,000 house. So you still, but if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. So when Andy threw that shade, it was shade. But girl, you were the one coming down here every other season talking about this is your forever home. This is your forever home. This is your forever home. See what happens when you throw materialism in people's face? They throw it back at you. When you throw materialism at every time you throw materialism at Dr. Heavenly, what does Dr. Heavenly throw back at you? Her portfolio. The fact that she owns how many acres? Somebody said in the chat, 47 acres. Like, that's what she throws back at you because that is what she values, right? Then they were bringing up husbands, baby, and that's when Dr. Jackie said, tag me in. And Dr. Jackie said, well, because Toya had said something about, well, let's not attack families. And Dr. Jackie said, okay, well, I need you to keep that same energy when we're talking about all husbands, not just your husband. Let's keep that same energy. And so that's when Dr. Jackie brought up the situation with Curtis, with Toya talking about Curtis, baby. And Toya was like, we ain't doing that, Jackie, because you know what that man did. Like, your husband, baby. And then, here's the sad part. Toya was like, well, didn't you talk about your husband? Didn't you tell us? Baby, Jackie said, I ain't never said nothing. I never bought anything here. It was bought. And she ain't lying. Dr. Jackie never bought anything to us about her husband. The internet, her husband bought it to us, and she was forced to talk about it. Production made her have that conversation. But Dr. Jackie ain't never bring it down here to the internet. Now, to be fair, Dr. Jackie, Curtis did what Toya, right, Malik? Curtis did. I'm sorry, two Ellises. Curtis did what Toya said he did. Now, we're not going to pretend like that ain't what happened. Curtis did it. Curtis pulled that woman into his lap. Now, some might say they were just some friends on a friend's vacation and it wasn't that big of a deal. They were taking a group picture and he pulled her down. But it does not matter what his intent was. If Toya felt uncomfortable by it or Toya felt like it was inappropriate, then that should be respected. That should be respected. And let's be clear, that's not the first time Toya brought it up, which makes me feel like Toya really feels some kind of way about it because it's not the first time she brought it up. I mean, that's just my opinion. Curtis also held Simone inappropriate at the family reunion day this season. Oh, I have to go back and look at that footage. I'm sure I believe you though. I believe you. So Toya, we're not gonna sit here and act like, and Jackie, we're not gonna sit here and act like Toya didn't have a right. I mean, again, somebody in the chat said that Toya was just responding to Andy's question, which is true. It is true. But the flip side is, even if she wasn't, Toya has a right to have her opinion and say what she want to say. In my opinion. Yeah, Curtis has children. He has, I think he has a daughter, or I'm not sure. I think he has a daughter. All right. So then the conversation about what happened at Toya's party comes up. And I wrote in my notes, shut up, Contessa. You know why I wrote in my notes, shut up, Contessa? Because, Contessa, I need you to not be the kumbaya. You was real kumbaya until it came to Brandy. But up until this whole segment with Toya, you was being real kumbaya talking about, Toya was like, well, you know, I was embarrassed by how I talked to my husband, and we're not perfect. We don't have a perfect relationship. And yes, I did spiral that night. You know, I locked myself in my closet. They didn't show that. And Quad had to come and get me, and yada, yada, yada. And then here come Contessa. Well, you know, Andy, I just think we need to be better friends too. Because, I mean, what we should have done in that moment is said, you know, let's just go home. First of all, you already know, Contessa, that y'all couldn't say, let's just go home, because y'all were filming. Y'all don't get to end it. Production ends it. So even if y'all wanted to end it, y'all don't have that authority. Now, what you can do is you can say, hey, we're going to stop talking about it. We're going to stop addressing it. Like, y'all could just choose to move on, but y'all don't have the authority. Like, it's not a real situation when you're at a real friend's house and you say, hey, girl, I think maybe you did a little too much today. Maybe we need to sit down and we need to go home. Girl, you ain't going home until production tell y'all to go home. That's number one. Number two, I really feel like, you know, in that moment, we could have been better friends. But it sounds like people were trying to be good friends with Toya. Toya, from what we saw on camera, every time somebody said something to Toya, she snapped at them. She turned around and yelled at them. Every time somebody tried to say something, she turned around and yelled at them. So again, at the end of the day, it's not that people didn't try to talk to Toya and talk her off the ledge. Toya, like she said, I was spiraling. And I was just sitting here like, Contessa, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere. Hey, everybody coming in. Hey, Bap. I ain't seen you in a while. Hey, boo. Toya and Eugene had guests other than the cast at that party. Yeah, it was other people at that party. Exactly. It wasn't just Eugene. I mean, it wasn't just a Married to Medicine event. They had other people there. So, right, like, girl, anyway. But I literally did write that in my notes. Shut up, Contessa. I wrote Simone and Jackie again. Did Simone and Jackie go at it again before we got to the end? They must have had some words with them each other. I don't know. But I did write Simone and Jackie. But since I know I'm going to talk about Simone and Jackie at the end, I'm going to just go past that because I don't know why I said that. They talked about the group chat. So I guess they were talking about the Met Gala and what happened with the group chat or whatever. Basically, at the end of the day, y'all, like I said before, like I said last week, I still want to know what the final result was. How much did y'all spend? How much did y'all make? Because yes, it was beautiful. Beautiful gowns. But if the purpose was to raise money, if the purpose was Contessa, but if the purpose was to save money, was to raise money, you can't spend up your profit. So, yes, it looked beautiful, but I want to know what the final spreadsheet looked like. Since y'all are a formal charitable organization now, y'all had to sit down and rectify those receipts. What the receipts look like? How much did you pay for the venue? Remember that she said they said that she changed the venue at the last minute. I'm sure that cost you extra. How much was the caterer? How much was the decorating? How much was even to print whatever ticket source y'all use? There's a charge for that. Somebody said they made $10,000, but how much did they spend? See, don't tell me what you made, tell me what you spent. Yeah, they donated $10,000. I saw that. Right. I saw what they gave y'all, but that was the night of the event. I want to know when you throw an event, you already make up an amount. Like they already knew they were going to give $5,000 to those young ladies. That didn't have anything to do with what they finally raised and what they finally spent. I want to know when they got together the week after the gala and they sat down with all of their receipts and they really looked at what Toya spent. versus what came in versus what went out. That's what I'm talking about. I know they donated the $5,000 to the for the scholarship, but did they raise 20 or are they negative? You see what I'm saying? We know that everybody donated $2,500 a piece, so that was the seed money for Toya to be able to get the venue, get the caterer, get the DJ, get the linen, get the place settings, the table settings, and all of those things. But anybody that's ever thrown an event, you know all of those things. If you're using a ticket source, whether you use an Eventbrite or they charge a fee, like all of those things go into it. It must have been good because Heavenly would have said if it wasn't, maybe. And the only reason why I say it like that, Party, the only reason why I say maybe is because remember, the Met Gala is real. It is not for TV. It is real. And so it does not serve them well to not let it seem like it was a successful event. And Dr. Heavenly is a lot of things, but Dr. Heavenly understands business. I mean, we're going to call a thing a thing. So that's the only reason why I said maybe. I'm not saying that it didn't. And I'm not saying that a conversation that, but that's the only reason why I said maybe. Maybe. Everybody coming in. That daggone DB and Cajun, y'all be just arguing. I don't believe for 1 second that Jackie had no idea what. Wait a minute, hold on. What's up, so Deb? Hey, boo. I don't believe 1 minute that Jackie had no idea that money was spent on. She's too type A. Oh, I agree. Exactly, which is why it doesn't serve them to use the gala to teach Toya a lesson. Now that's a valid point too. That's valid. Wasn't Heavenly the one saying Phaedra didn't write it? Now that's true. You right. Partey, Capricorn, that's valid. You got a valid point. You have a very valid point. So you're right. Maybe it went off without a hitch. We'll see. One thing's for sure and two things for certain. If she don't bring it up now, if it is an issue, she'll bring it up next season. Oh, wait a minute. Let me write that in my notes before I forget. Hold on, because it's something I want to say about next season, and I don't want to forget to say it. Hold on, y'all. Let me put it, because I'll forget. Hold on. I'm going to write it at the end of my notes, so in case I forget to say it. Hold on. Okay. That way I don't want to forget to say it at the end of my notes. Okay. That was the worst gala they had in 2 years. The first one, they raised $50,000. The second one, they raised $100,000 because Faye-Faye's goal was to double it. That is true. $10,000 is a flop. Now, that's true, Cheryl. Valid. That's valid. 66 people spending $150 don't equal 10,000. Well, now, listen, Deb, we can do the math. Do the math, honey. Do the math. But that is true when you talk about it like that they did raise $100,000 last year, and I know Phaedra did donate a large part of that, but they had donated a large part as well. I mean, they have raised a large part as well. I agree, Chuck. Some of the gowns did look better on the actual stage than they did in those pictures. But it's always like that. It's always like that. So Deb, you said something else. Hold on, let me scroll up. So Deb said something else. Hold on. Before I go on to the next thing on my thing. Let me see what So Deb dropped in and said. He said, "Hey, Really B, they sat down and realized they was broke. If you look at what Toya did, they was in the negative. 66 people buying tickets don't equal to $10,000. Yeah, well. Whew, okay. Oh, Lord. I get that. Okay. Also, some of the gowns look. Oh, I just read that. Okay. Not Mimi's bob made me sad. You know what? Jackie's bob gave me everything I needed, though. Jackie's bob was bobbing, honey. Jackie's bob was bobbing. The math definitely is not mathing. But anyway, like I said, for anybody that has ever thrown an event, especially a high-end event, anybody that's ever thrown a high-end event, you know how that stuff adds up and how you can't really call it a success until you rectify the receipts, until you sit down with all those receipts and you add and subtract and you get to that bottom line. Especially when you're raising money for a scholarship fund. I'm a part of multiple organizations that have scholarships, and we have different events, and some events are more successful than others. You know? But anyway, moving right along. Hell, Toya gave her sons just about the same for good grades. Right! We saw that, right? Jackie looked good. Looked good. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so next I have was Quad and King. Lord, okay. I'm telling y'all now. Next season, it's going to be Quad versus Toya. I'm telling you. It's going to be Quad versus Toya. The fact that Toya is hanging out in these streets and Instagramming with King, the fact that King and Eugene are still friends. Baby, we saw how Quad acted when they was all still friends with her ex-husband, and he had been friends with them, hell, since some of them he knew before he started dating her. It's going to be Quad and Toya. I'm telling y'all what it's going to be. Quad said, did y'all see Quad? Quad said, you're still speaking with my ex? Said, oh. She said, y'all, you're still speaking with my ex? You're still speaking with my ex? Woo, that thing. Look, let me tell y'all something. One thing I love about Miss Quad, she know how to turn a phrase, baby. Quad said, you're still speaking with my ex. Baby, and then they let us know that King wanted to come to the reunion. King, excuse me, sir. Why? Why? What is it that you think we needed to hear from you? I mean, did you think that I hated Quad's hair too? Oh, I hated Quad's hair. Did you think that? But why would he come? He's not the star of the show. Quad is the star on the show. You were her accessory. You weren't even her husband. There's no need for us to hear from you. There was no need for him to come to the reunion. I'm sorry. There just wasn't. And maybe that's why he decided to go public and let everybody know they weren't together when Quad would let him come to the reunion. I don't know. But I don't see what the purpose was. I don't see what his part wasn't deep enough for it to be an issue. Because he was made a part of her storyline. Right, but it didn't, in my opinion, but I don't feel like we needed him there. Quad's storyline wasn't that big that we needed him there for it. I'm sorry. Child, he a boyfriend. Boyfriends come and boyfriends go. Child, they broke up. It wasn't that deep. And to be fair, Quad didn't really say anything bad. Quad didn't disparage him. Quad didn't talk bad about him. She said, listen, things just don't work out. They brought up the in vitro. She said, listen, things just don't work out sometimes. Now, what I will say is, Quad, and I'm sure you and Heavenly have cleared the air now. I'm sure you went back and heard it, and you probably heard it now. You misunderstood what Andy said. When Andy read the question, what Andy said was, a viewer from the the Married to Medicine group chat said, Dr. Heavenly said that she believes King was cloud chasing off of Quad. But let's be real, Quad needed a storyline too. Dr. Heavenly wasn't the one that said that second part. The second part of the question was the person speaking for themselves saying, well, let's be real, Quad needed a storyline too. So when Quad kind of went off, and Heavenly even said, that's not what I said, because that's not what the question said. The question did not say that Heavenly said Quad needed a storyline and that the relationship was fake. That's not what Heavenly said. What Heavenly said, the first part, which was she felt like King was clout chasing. Now, she did say that part. But the second part, and so I feel like Quad has heard it now, and hopefully her and Heavenly are good, because she did sort of go off, which I could understand. Like, you know, you like, hold on. But that's not what the question was. So I hope they cleared that up, because that's not what Heavenly said. Now, Heavenly did say she thought the man was clout chasing off of you. But she didn't say that she thought the relationship was fake. Heavenly should not speak on Quad's relationships anymore. Listen, they all speak on each other's relationships. Heavenly is no different than the rest of them. They all speak on each other's relationships. They all talk about each other. That's why they crack me up. Y'all don't need to be speaking on my marriage. Y'all all speak on each other's marriage. King was looking crazy on this season. I'm sure he wanted to defend himself and give context to where his mom was at. He got Instagram. He can go live just like everybody else go live. He can go live. He can say whatever he need to say on Instagram. I don't need him there. Now, let's be clear. If he had been there, would I have been mad that he was there? No, I wouldn't have been mad that he was there. But I wasn't looking for him. Y'all know what I'm saying? If he was there, cool, it'd have been cool. But I wasn't looking for him. You know. Okay, so there was that. Heavenly. I just explained that part. Okay. Brandy and Angel come out, and Brandy don't really have much to say. I feel like whatever Brandy said was cut out, because it did look like Brandy and Toya kind of got into it, but it does look like that conversation was sort of cut out. I really don't think Jackie speaks on folks' relationships on TV. Jackie be telling people's whole medical history. What you mean, Bab? Jackie be talking about people having miscarriages and stuff. I mean, I know you. I feel like you talking about people's like romantic relationships, but Dr. Jackie be saying shit she don't need to say too. I don't feel like, like I said, Brandy was sort of cut out. Brandy, that's not really a good thing, baby girl. But I think Brandy will be okay. I think Brandy did enough this season. I think not Brandy, y'all. I'm not Brandy. I'm talking about Angel. We saw Angel get into it with Toya about the whole dating thing. But honestly, I feel like that conversation was edited down to what we saw. I think the conversation went on longer than that. I think her and Toya might have got a little deeper. I think that Angel did a good enough job this season to come back. I honestly do. I think she's safe. I hope she is, because I think she should come back. But yes, Brandy and Contessa now. Now, Brandy and Contessa got into it, and Brandy and Heavenly kind of got into it a little bit. Look, this is what I like about Brandy. Brandy stands on her shit. Because Brandy was like, look, listen, you know, the comment that Dr. Mimi made about you need to choose your, you know, the people you hang around wisely or whatever, which I still don't understand where Dr. Mimi was coming from with that. Like, I still feel like, Dr. Mimi, girl, what are you talking about? Like, what you talking about? First of all, don't nobody need to choose no sides. That's part of the problem on these shows. People want to try to create, oh, this camp and that camp, and you got to choose this side or that side. Don't nobody need to choose no sides. Like, what are you talking about? But Brandy and Contessa, which it was a stupid argument, but let's be clear, Contessa was the aggressor in that argument. I still don't understand what your issue was, Contessa. I'm sorry, Contessa. And as soon as Brandy started talking about that birthday dinner, baby, Contessa was already in her fifis. At the end of the day, I don't understand what the issue is. I feel like, and me and my friends have done that before, right? Me and my friends, I have, especially one of my friends in particular, her husband is good to her, okay? And he literally has sent us to dinner and already paid the bill. Like, that has actually happened. Well, we were at a nice restaurant. A nice restaurant. And baby, the bill, it's time for us to pay the bill. And the waiter says, oh, bill already been taken care of. Because the husband gave him his credit card over the phone when he sent us to the restaurant to take his wife out to dinner. It has happened. And you don't think that we didn't get on the phone and call and thank him? Oh my gosh, thank you so much for dinner. I really appreciate that. So it doesn't matter if her husband sent y'all to go get wings and hookah, or if he sent y'all to go get steak and shrimp. The fact that it was 9, 10 of y'all, and the man paid for the whole meal, and the man said, hey, I got the kids tonight. You go out with your girls and you have a good time. I don't see what the big deal was. I don't understand why you're comparing what happened with that to what you did for you. Mind you, and let's be clear, you did it for yourself. Scott didn't do it. Scott didn't pay for that party. Scott didn't plan that party. Y'all been married for 30, well, how long they been married? Let's say 20 years. Y'all been married for 20 years, and you say your husband ain't never threw a party for you? Your husband has never had a party for your birthday? He ain't never invited some friends over and threw some burgers on the grill? He ain't never said, hey, let's have a game night and have some birthday cake, invite your girls over? Y'all got a whole theater room in y'all house. Y'all ain't never had a movie night with popcorn and y'all come on over. We're gonna watch a good movie. Y'all have that beautiful home, and you mean to tell me your husband has never initiated a birthday celebration for you, girl? And you gonna sit here and act like what Brandy husband did wasn't nothing? I didn't understand why we were thanking him for wings, because he bought them, and that's the polite thing to do. When somebody buys something for you, you say thank you. If you ain't with the wings, you shouldn't have ate the wings. I agree. Y'all in the comments saying it was jealousy. I agree. I think it was just jealousy. You jealous because her husband did do something that you wish your husband would have done for you. The fact that you had to throw your own party for yourself, that lets you know right there. And yes, you were jealous. Not those were the same wings from the Met Gala. Not those were the same wings from the Met Gala. Contessa is really mad at Scott and is too scared to tell him how she really feels. I think it's jealousy too. And y'all know I don't even like throwing that word around. I don't like just throwing around jelly. Oh, she jealous. Oh, they jealous. Oh, I don't even like throwing that word around. But sometimes if it applies, it applies. If you're jealous, you're jealous. Okay. Right. And her man is fine. Somebody said he fine. He is. And I guess he had to work because he was. I noticed while I was watching. I said, wait a minute, her husband is not there. But I'm wondering if he had, because like Brandy said, listen, we don't have a village. So we don't have people to watch our kids for us, you know. So maybe they weren't. Maybe he wasn't able to come because they didn't have somebody to watch the kids. I don't know. But that's real stuff right there. That's real stuff right there. Yeah, that's real stuff right there. Tessa has misdirected Scott's anger every season at this point. And listen, and I know, I'm not defending Dr. Heavenly, but you were mad at Dr. Heavenly for saying really what you felt. Now, was she wrong for saying it? Because of you, yes, she was wrong for saying it, especially if she was repeating things that you told her in confidence. She was wrong. But some of the stuff you said on the show that it don't take a rocket scientist to add 1 + 1 = 2. But if I'm your friend, I still feel like Heavenly was wrong for saying it. If I'm your friend. Now, we ain't friends. If I don't call you my friend and I'm just doing commentary, yes. But at the time, Heavenly and Contessa were friends. Well, at least Contessa thought they were. You know what I'm saying? They asked Heavenly about her son, and that's when she says that her son was having a mental health episode. She says she has gotten him help. She reached out to Dr. Mimi to get the support she needed, and that, you know, one thing, a lot of men, especially Black men, are in jail when they really need mental health help. And she said, you know, had he been anybody other than my son, he probably would be sitting in jail right now because somebody may not have been able to get him the resources that he needs. I want to be very careful in the words that I use. I'm going to say this. The story that was said at the reunion does not match the story they said on the show. Can we agree that that's not the same story they said on the show? Can we agree to that that's not what was said? If you go back to the first episode, maybe it was the second episode, that's not what they said. Because she even said when he was at the hospital, he called Damon, and Damon had to go down to the hospital, and because Damon knows emergency room, blah, 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 blah. Girl, that's not what you said. That's not what you said. And if you read the police report, that's not what the police report said either. What up, Don Don? Hey, boo. What was said on the show? So what was said on the show was when Heavenly was talking to Damon, what Heavenly said was that the son called Damon, and Damon tried to handle it on his own with the attorneys and things like that. They never said anything about Damon going to the hospital. They never said anything about, I'm just trying to be careful because, again, it's a sensitive thing and I'm really trying to be careful. I think she would, no. Go back on it. She said Damon went to the, so you're saying that she's trying, okay, wait a minute. Let me say this. So what y'all are saying is, because I want to make sure I understand. Y'all are saying that at the reunion, she was talking about he recently had an episode and Damon had to go to the hospital recently, because that's not the impression I got. The impression I got was that she was talking about when the incident happened, that Damon went to, went to the hospital, and that Damon Jr. called Daddy to come down to the hospital. Now, that's not what y'all's understanding is. That's not what I got out of it. And if you go back and you read the police report, Damon Jr. fled the scene. It doesn't say anything about him going to the hospital. It says he attempted to run over a police officer to get away from the scene. It didn't say nothing about him going to the hospital. And again, but that's not what was said. I didn't get the impression that she was talking about it more recently. I got the impression she was talking about what happened. That's what I got. Thank you. Yeah, she was talking about the incident. They'll take you to the hospital if the police feel like you were in a mental crisis, they will take you to the hospital. They sure will. If the police feel, and that's why they say that police officers need training so they'll know the difference between somebody that's going through a mental break, somebody that's coming down off of drugs, somebody that's just, being defiant. That's what when they were talking about defund the police, which I told y'all, if y'all were following me back then, I told y'all that was the worst title they could give it. But if you really read up on what they meant by defund the police, what they were saying was take money out of buying more weapons and stuff for the police department and put more money into mental health services. And that's what they were saying. So they will take you to the hospital if it seems as though you are having a mental break. The problem is police officers understanding the difference and knowing the difference between somebody who's just being defiant and someone who's having a mental break, or somebody who's high off of, high off of a substance and coming down off of that high. A lot of police officers are not trained to understand the difference. So do they take people to the hospital? Yeah, they do. But I'm going to say this now. This is what I will say. And this is my opinion. I would be way more pissed off at my husband if he kept a mental health issue away from me than just my son was out there wilding, he got into some trouble with the police, and my husband went and handled it. Those are two different issues. Let me tell you something, and I know I don't have no churn, but let me tell y'all something. The difference is, for me, I can understand my husband, my son calling my husband in the middle of the night saying, "Damn, daddy, I got into it. I made a bad decision. I'm at the police station. Can you come and get me?" I could see Damon keeping that from Heavenly, right? I could understand him keeping that. Kids are gonna be kids, right? Whatever. I'm sure that I got into some shit that my mama didn't tell my daddy about, and vice versa. I know that my brother got into some stuff that my daddy ain't tell my mother about when it happened, right? But a mental health break, ain't no way in hell. If my husband kept that away from me about my child, Houston, we have a problem. Now, that's me. I think she made a difference. I don't think so, Cameron. I don't think she's talking about a different incident. I think she's talking about the same incident. Because why would she be bringing up a different incident? Don't nobody know about anything other than the incident he was arrested for. Why would she be bringing up a different incident? She claims she found out about it with the public. How would she have called me? Well, I think she was talking about after the fact. I don't think, let me tell y'all. Can I just be honest with y'all and be real about this? Let me give y'all my 2 cents on it. This is my 2 cents and we're going to move on. That is going to probably be his defense. Because this case is still ongoing, is it not? Don, has this case been concluded? I honestly haven't been following it. I know they had a court date, but is the court case over? Because let me say this, if the court case is not over, that's the defense. And even if the court case is over, if that's what they went in court and they argued, that's what she gonna say, and she ain't gonna say nothing different. And she shouldn't. If that was the legal defense, they went into court and said, hey, he was having a mental health crisis. He had a mental health break. We're going to get him some therapy. We're going to put him in therapy. We're going to get him some outpatient help. She shouldn't say nothing different. If that's what you went into court and told the judge, that better be the same story you tell for the rest of your life. That doesn't mean that I believe that that's what happened. And that's my opinion. And I'm going to move on because I ain't going to dwell in it. I'm not going to dwell in it. Long story short, Heavenly skated her ass around the original question. Right. Because wasn't the original question asking what happened? I mean, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. What did Partey say? The truth state. What Judge Judy say? You tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Okay, hold on. She said all she had to say was, I was surprised when I heard, but can't get into it because it's an ongoing legal matter. Right. Listen, y'all got mad at Karen Huger when Karen Huger kept telling y'all she couldn't talk about it because it was an ongoing legal case. But everybody, y'all now understand after Wendy, and now y'all understand why it's easier to just say I can't talk about it. It makes us mad, but that's the best thing to say. Right. Remember she said she cursed him out so bad he left. If it was mental health, why would she curse him out? Yeah. That might be why the son doesn't want to see her because he put her in the hospital. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think people would be a lot more sensitive and understanding if Heavenly wasn't always so aggressive with other people in their situation. You know what I mean? I think Wendy's, is it April? I thought it was a little bit further. The case was settled in September. Okay, so the case is over. But if that's what they went in court and argued, then yeah, I wouldn't. That better be their story, and they better stick to it. We got mad because she said she'll be vindicated. Well, but even before that part, people were mad because she wouldn't talk about it. But yeah, she did say she's gonna be vindicated, Chad. Okay. Now, while this is going on, the fellas done showed up, and Steve and Eugene are arguing. And let me say something. Although I think Toya is insufferable, and although I think Toya did some things this season that were polarizing to the group and that caused a lot of ripples, Steve, sir, I need you to go take several seats. You go over there. Steve, go over there. I'm still not going to sit here and say that I agree about this ticket thing. I don't believe that y'all didn't know y'all was supposed to buy tickets. Because again, like I said, Mimi said in her confessional, we'll buy a ticket, but we're not going to make any more donations. She said it. She said, we'll buy a ticket. Which means you knew you were supposed to buy a ticket. I just don't believe you didn't know you weren't supposed to buy a ticket to an event that everybody else bought a ticket to. See, if other people didn't buy tickets, which at this point, no one has said, well, so-and-so didn't buy a ticket and so-and-so didn't buy a ticket. Y'all the only two that didn't buy a ticket out of the whole cast. Even the newbies, Angel and Brandy. That's what I can't. Sorry, Steve. Can't go there. She still could have not known during filming. But again, if her argument is going to be, we didn't know we had to buy a ticket, then that's what the hell she should have said in her confessional. Well, we didn't know we had to buy a ticket. But what you said was y'all were going to buy a ticket, which tells me you knew you needed to buy a ticket. See, that's the part. And I hear what you're saying, but that's how my brain works. If you tell me, hey, girl, I buy a ticket. If I'm selling raffle tickets and you tell me you're going to buy one next week, and then the raffle comes around and you don't win, and you say, well, I didn't know I had to buy a ticket. Girl, you told me you was going to buy a ticket. What you mean? Why didn't you think you didn't need to buy a ticket to be in the raffle? When you say, we'll buy a ticket, your argument, in my opinion, can't be that you didn't know you had to buy a ticket. Now, that's just me. I think it's stupid. I don't think it's a big deal. And I honestly don't think that Eugene was wrong. I don't think Eugene was wrong to say, hey, y'all need to buy a ticket before y'all come up in here. If they're the only ones that didn't buy a fucking ticket, and they did, and also let's add, not only did they not buy a ticket, they didn't donate either. So you mean to tell me now they knew that. You knew you didn't make the $2,500 donation like everybody else made. You knew that. You knew you didn't make the $2,500 donation. And you knew you didn't buy no ticket. I don't think Eugene was wrong for asking that man to buy a ticket. Maybe they said they would buy a ticket before Jackie invited them as her guest. I don't think Jackie invited them as her guest. Jackie invited them last year. I don't think Jackie invited them this year. And I'm going to tell you again. I'm going to tell you why. Because Jackie didn't say it. If Jackie had invited them as her guest, Jackie would have said, well, they didn't need a ticket. I told them that I told them I bought a table and I told them they could sit at my table. They didn't need a ticket. I could understand where the confusion came in. The fact that Jackie ain't saying nothing tells me that that's not what the conversation was. In my opinion, again, that's how my logic works. Jackie would have said something. She would now again, we haven't gotten to part 2. So next week, when the guys come out on stage, maybe it'll be a different conversation. But right now, based on what I know, that's not what was said. You said they said it. Yes, Steve and Mimi said it. Jackie didn't say it. I'm not listening to Steve and Mimi. I'm saying Jackie didn't say. Jackie said it on Instagram. I don't know why she's silent on the show. What? Jackie said it on Instagram that she bought the tickets. Let's see. I didn't see that. I never saw that. Is it gone? Did she put it on her story or is it on her Instagram? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Because I'll apologize. If she said it, I'll definitely apologize. Oh, somebody sent me some money. Oh, look at that. Thank you. Thank you for the $10 donation. Thank you. Hold on, y'all. Let me go on over here to Instagram and see if I can find it. Hold on. Jackie. Maybe I should have put Dr. Jackie. Her Instagram is probably Dr. Jackie. You see I don't follow her. Dr. Jackie. Is this her right here? Okay, the real Dr. Jackie. Okay. Let me see. It was probably on her story. And it's probably gone. Yeah, it was on her story and it's gone. Hold on, let me check her story just to make sure it's not there. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it's not there. If Jackie said it, y'all, then if Jackie come out and say it, but I didn't see Jackie say nothing about that. But I know Xavier's wouldn't lie to me. What exactly did she say, Xavier? Because I missed it. I don't remember seeing it. Yeah, the blogs would have picked up on that. Somebody, the Housewife, Bravo, somebody would have picked up on that. Jackie said it. I don't know. And again, I'm not saying you're wrong, Xavier. I'm just saying somebody would have picked up on that, in my opinion. Why would they buy one if they didn't buy one last year? They was trying to donate. They donated $5,000 last year. Well, but again, you were a guest of Dr. Jackie's last year. Now, again, I'll wait and see if Dr. Jackie say something next week. But she was radio silent this week. She was radio silent at the Met Gala. I didn't see her at the Met Gala when that whole thing went down. I didn't see her walk up to Toya and Eugene and say, hey, they were at my table. I had them covered. I didn't see nobody say that. I ain't see nobody say that. All right. So let's get into this last. Dr. Mimi did talk about her special needs son and the challenges. And again, I told you guys, I always thought that was a great. I'm glad they said it. That's why last year, right, Cameron? Last year, I think it was different because Mimi and Steve last year, Mimi was a friend of, and remember, she didn't even halfway film last year. So I can see last year, Dr. Jackie saying, hey, girl, just show up. I got you. Don't worry about it. You'll be my guest. I could see that last year. But this year, you were a full-on cast member, ma'am. You were a full-on cast member. You already didn't make the $2,500 donation. Steve literally asked, did they want ticket money or donation money? Right, because he was like, well, we gave $5,000 last year. Well, there was a whole lot of people that bought a ticket and donated because it was a fundraiser. That's what people do. I had this conversation last week. When you go to fundraisers, the expectation is that you're going to participate in raising funds. Yes, you buy a ticket to get in the door, and they have a lot of times they'll have silent auctions or they'll be selling things or like most of the that's what they do. And the expectation is even if you don't bid high, even if you don't have a lot of money, the expectation is that you're gonna put a bid on something. I do silent auctions all the time, and I be putting bids that I know I ain't gonna win shit. Just so my name on the paper so the people won't be like, damn, you didn't even try. Just saying. Jackie said what? Tell me what Jackie said, so Deb. Because I didn't see it. I'm not saying Jackie didn't say it. I just didn't see it, and the blogs didn't pick up on it because I would have seen it on the blogs. Jackie said what? That she bought their ticket this year? Right. That's why that's what Eugene said. Eugene was like, I was surprised that y'all even showed up. Y'all said y'all wasn't participating. Like, I was shocked you were there. I love driving up the price on silent auctions. Right, I do it all the time. If Steve cared about the charity, he'd have donated $500. But if I buy a table, the ticket is included for my guests with the expectation of them making a donation. Right. So what I'm saying is, if I hear that Jackie said, no, I told them they were at my table, they didn't need to buy a separate ticket because I had them at my table, then I'll apologize and I'll shut the hell up about it. Then I'll be like, well, Steve, you were right. But Jackie did say what? You keep saying Jackie did say that. What did she say, so Deb? I need to know what she said. Jackie dropped the ball on her guest then. But also, okay. When you buy a table for an event, there are two things you have to do. Well, there are things you should do. Either A, you need to give that list of names to the event people so they know who to let in. Or B, you get actual paper tickets and you give people the ticket so when they show up, they can fucking get in. Now, nowadays, there's a lot of electronic stuff. I know, like on Ticketmaster, if I buy 3 tickets on Ticketmaster, I can send the tickets to the people that I need to send the tickets to, and they actually have their QR code. If Dr. Jackie bought a table and the intention was for Mimi and Dr. Mimi and Steve to sit at her table, then that was on Dr. Jackie to convey that to the lady at the front. And when they said, we are guests of Dr. Jackie, what should have happened was somebody should have went and got Dr. Jackie. And when Eugene came over there, that should have been the conversation. Now, I know that's what they said, but the cameras, because again, we know it's editing, the cameras did not show us Dr. Jackie being a part of that conversation. And it seems to me like Dr. Jackie should have been a part of that conversation. So I'm waiting for So Deb to tell me exactly what Dr. Jackie said. Okay. I think Simone also told Toya not to make anyone else pay for a ticket who are on the cast, and Toya laughed at her, which makes me feel like she did it on purpose. I bought tables at fundraisers. I give the list of, right, you have to give that list of names. But anyway, child, like somebody just said, all this over some damn $300, child. Steve, the L in your LV costs more than $300, sir. If you don't go sit all the way down, I just thought the whole thing was ridiculous. But again, if Dr. Jackie dropped the ball, then I will apologize and say, Steve, y'all were right. Eugene and Toya was doing too much. But if that's not how it went down, okay, that $5,000 covered Toya's money she didn't pay the last 2 years. What that got to do with the tickets, So Deb? I'm talking about the tickets. I'm talking about the tickets. Did Dr. Jackie say she bought them people tickets? Anyway, child, we spending way too much time on that too. But the guys got into it. Cecil, Curtis was putting his 2 cents in, so you could tell Curtis got an attitude with Toya as well. So I'm sure I can't wait to see all that play out next week with the fellas. So let's get into this last part, which of course is the good part. Simone and Heavenly got into it, and baby, Simone hit that zinger at Heavenly, and Heavenly didn't have a comeback. Simone said, baby, me and my husband chose to get married because we loved each other, not because I was pregnant. Baby, it ain't no comeback to that. It ain't no comeback to that. And Heavenly didn't have one. Heavenly didn't have one. Now let's get to this Simone, Dr. Jackie situation. Y'all ready for this? Because I'm about to break this whole thing down. Y'all ain't got to agree with me, but I'm going to break this whole thing down based on my opinion, and this is how I feel. Number one, Dr. Jackie ain't going to never stop Dr. Heavenly from doing what Dr. Heavenly does, because Dr. Heavenly does and says the things that Dr. Jackie wish she could say and do, but because she has to play this regal Dr. Jackie matriarch role, she ain't going to say it herself. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. Dr. Jackie is okay with what Heavenly does and says, because in most cases, Dr. Heavenly is saying what Dr. Jackie wants to say, but she ain't going to say it. So she's never going to check Dr. Heavenly the way y'all want her to check Dr. Heavenly. She going to do enough. She going to pop her hand a little bit, but she ain't never going to check her the way, when I say y'all, you know what I mean, the way y'all want her to check her, because she's saying what Heavenly is her mouthpiece. That's number one. Number two, and this is the part where I'm going to lose some of y'all. This is the part where I am going to lose some of y'all. Y'all ready? It's this guy on TikTok. He does his sweater. He be like, he does this with his sweater. When he be trying to talk, I found him during the YSL trial, honey. He used to crack me up, pulling that sweater back and forth, talking about, Y'all probably know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name right now. Let me say this. So you say, so Dr. Jackie is using Dr. Heavenly. I don't think Dr. Jackie is using Dr. Heavenly. I think that Dr. Heavenly is useful to Dr. Jackie. Does that make sense? Y'all understand the difference of what I'm saying? I don't think she's using her, because Dr. Heavenly was doing this shit all along. This is who Dr. Heavenly is. I think that Dr. Jackie has just learned that Dr. Heavenly can be a tool for her. I guess she is using her then. Y'all know what I mean, though? Okay. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Yeah, he is hilarious. Now, with that being said, here's the part where I'm going to probably lose some of y'all, because y'all don't like this person. Dr. Jackie has never forgiven Dr. Simone for not having her back with Buffy. Dr. Jackie has been holding on just a little bit. Just a little bit. Dr. Jackie been holding on because Simone did not have her back with Buffy. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Fast forward. Yes, her and Simone moved on. Her and Simone, they doing their lunches again. They friends again. They hanging out again. But Simone and Jackie have never gotten back to being the type of friends that they were pre-Buffy. They just haven't. They haven't. And Heavenly, being the cunning person that she is, being the smart person. Yeah, I don't have to like Dr. Heavenly, but Dr. Heavenly is smart as hell. Being the cunning person she is and the smart person that she is, Dr. Heavenly saw the crack in the foundation of the friendship that was Jackie and Simone, and she slid on in. You think that for a minute that Dr. Heavenly doesn't know that she's Dr. Jackie's mouthpiece? Can you imagine the conversations, the private conversations that Heavenly and Jackie have? You don't think that Jackie, when the camera's on around and Jackie got her guard down a little bit, you don't think she say some of the shit that Dr. Heavenly be saying or agreeing with? Come on now. Jackie is 100% wrong in this situation. And the fact that she won't just fucking say, I am sorry, I was wrong. I should have said, I should have done. The fact that she won't just take full responsibility for it. And I'm going to tell you something. I was watching Watch What Happens Live. And when Jackie said it, I said, huh? Why you can't just say Heavenly was wrong on this one? Heavenly's my girl, but Heavenly was wrong. When Dr. Jackie sat on that stage and told Simone, so Dr. Simone, I try to use be proper, y'all, and call them by their name. They earned it. When she sat on that stage and she told Dr. Simone, I was riding the fence because I'm friends with both of y'all. I knew then that's a wrap right there. Because let me tell you why. I don't never want to have the kind of friend that can't tell me when I'm wrong. I don't want that person around me. So the fact that Dr. Jackie, you couldn't tell Heavenly she was wrong. You exaggerated, Dr. Heavenly. You carried this too far, Dr. Heavenly. You were doing too much, Dr. Heavenly. Because let's go back to what happened during the season. Let's go back to this season. It wasn't that Heavenly just said, Simone put her hands on me. I ain't appreciate that. That's not what happened. Dr. Jackie went to production and told production she didn't feel safe because Simone was unhinged and Simone put her hands on her. Simone assaulted her. Let's start at the beginning and work our way forward. She didn't just say, Simone put her hands on me. I didn't appreciate that. She didn't just say it in casual conversation with the girls. She didn't just have a scene where she talked to Quad and said, Quad, did you see her put her hands on me? She didn't make it a light moment, a jokey joke thing. She created a situation, like Simone said, that could have gotten her in trouble had it continued to grow legs. And everybody on that cast understands the gravity of what Dr. Heavenly did. And that is what Simone said. Simone said, come on now. You know, this could have affected my license. This could have affected my hospital privileges because Heavenly went to production and said, I don't feel safe. Simone just tried to fight Quad last reunion. She is unhinged. And if Quad had said, I feel unsafe because of what Simone did, I wouldn't have argued. Because we all saw what Simone did at the reunion last year. I wouldn't have had no argument. But she didn't do that to Heavenly. She didn't. She didn't do that to Heavenly. She didn't do what Heavenly said she did. And let's be clear, y'all. I'm not saying that Simone isn't. But in that scene, in that moment, what Dr. Heavenly said Simone did, she did not do. Again, have there been times when Simone, yes, absolutely. But what we're not going to do is move the goalposts. Let's talk about this one situation. What Heavenly said Simone did, she didn't do. And Jackie, as her friend, should have said, Heavenly was wrong on this one. Because that wasn't about trying to stay neutral. That wasn't even about riding the fence because I have two friends that are arguing. That's about right and wrong. That was a real clear right and wrong situation. That was clear. Cameron, you cannot say what Simone is or is not worried about. I don't think that's a fair thing to say. You can't say Simone's not worried about her career. Why wouldn't she be? That woman's been a doctor longer than I've been. Well, no, not longer than I've been alive, but longer than a lot of people in this chat right now have been alive. She has a long career. Nobody wants to go out with a cloud over their head. And again, I don't want nobody to be like, well, it couldn't have gone to that. We don't know. Once she involved production and made a formal complaint about her, we don't know where that would have went from there. She did not move Simone's hand aggressive. I mean, she didn't. All right, I ain't arguing with y'all. That was not, if that's aggressive, I don't know what y'all call aggressive. That was not aggressive what Simone did. Simone said, get your hand off me. Now, were they yelling and screaming? Yeah, they were all yelling and screaming. They were all arguing. That was what, and that's all of them were arguing in that scene. They was all yelling at each other. All of them. Remember, that was when Contessa was running around talking about, well, is everybody going to come is everybody coming on the trip? Nobody. Come on, guys. Y'all got to come on the trip. They were all arguing that day. All of them. So was Simone? Yes, she was. She was. Because of her past behavior. What has Dr. Simone showed us to think that she doesn't care about her career? Well, if Jackie agrees with Heavenly, then that's what Jackie should have said. See, just stand in it. If I'm Simone, I understand why Simone is upset. It wasn't aggressive. That was not aggressive. People just, listen, I understand people have their favorites. Y'all like who y'all like, and y'all defending y'all people. That's fine. That's fine. But from where I sat, that wasn't aggressive. That, if y'all think that's aggressive, then I don't know what y'all, I mean, that wasn't aggressive. Thank you, Eves. I'm going to leave it there. Eve said, if there weren't cameras around, Heavenly would have kept the lie going, even if it affected Dr. Simone's professional reputation. That's sad that a black woman doctor will lie on another black woman doctor. Boom. Drop receipt. I mean, drop mic. Drop mic. But this is what I am going to say. And this is my opinion. I think Simone's leaving Married to Medicine. I will be shocked if Simone comes back next season. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, she said that she is winding down. She wants more free time. She wants more time to do other things. She's not as, because at first she said she was leaving. Now she's saying she's just taking a leave of absence. So she's kind of stepping away a little bit. She says she's not delivering any more babies anymore. That's number one. Number two, she said her and Heavenly, there's no point of any return for her and Dr. Heavenly. Number three, she said there's a point of no return for her and Dr. Jackie. And she says she good with that. Now, of course, we only got the first half of that conversation. Maybe next week they'll hug and kiss and make up and all that stuff. But I honestly feel like this is Simone's swan song, and I don't think she's coming back. If she is cutting ties with Dr. Jackie and she's cutting ties with Dr. Heavenly, I just don't think she's coming back, y'all. And let's be, what's up, K Fit? Hey, girl. And let's be clear, she's earned that. She has every right. She's an empty nester. Her and her husband, looks like her and Cecil are in a better place. Listen, if she want to go travel the world and enjoy her money and live off her laurels and do speaking engagements and do consulting and write a book or do all the different things that she can do, let her go do it. But I honestly think, seeing her affect last night, I honestly think it's a wrap. I believe Jackie and Simone deserve proper send-offs. I do too, but I don't think Simone has said anything. Like, I feel like if Simone told them, production, hey, this is my last season. Oh, I think she absolutely would get her flowers. But I don't think she's saying anything. But I'm just saying, I would not be shocked if after the reunion, Simone announces she's not coming back. I would not be shocked. Jackie has changed over the years to be a mean girl. I think Jackie was always a mean girl. I couldn't be friends with Heavenly. She talks too much and does too much for me, child. Heavenly, the kind of person that always gets you in a fight when you go out. I had a friend like that in high school. I ain't lying. I said, I can't. I was like, I gotta stop hanging with this chick. I swear it was always a damn fight with her. And I was like, I don't understand how you always find a fight no matter where we go, no matter what we do. How the fuck do you always find a fight? Why am I always fighting? When we go to the mall, we go down the street to the basketball court. God forbid we go to a party. How you always find a fight? I said, That's how Heavenly remind me of her. You just always, it's always a fight. Anyway, y'all, with that being said, I'm about to get out of here. Don't forget the event on July the 18th is if you don't know what the event is that I'm talking about, if you live in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, or you willing to travel, hey, if you're willing to travel, come and hang out with us here in DC on July the 18th. I'm having a Dare to Dream event with author Pt1 Cummings. We went to college together. She's a good friend of mine. This is the book right here, How to Dream. And she is going to talk about, and again, we're not talking about physical dreams like when you go to sleep at night dreams. We're talking about your goals and aspirations dreams. She's a therapist by trade, and she wrote this book out of conversations that she's had with her patients as it relates to them moving obstacles out of their way, moving roadblocks, mental roadblocks out of their way to get to a place where their dreams. Now, you will get a copy of her book, and of course, she'll sign it for you guys. And we're going to do an hour-long session with her, and we'll go through, she has a workbook that goes with the book. So we're going to go through some of the exercises in her workbook. And then the place where we're having the event is at a content creation studio. Oh Lord, everybody to the left. I shouldn't have said goodbye before I started talking about the event. Yeah, come on, K-Fit, come on up, girl. It's a hotel, not too far from the place where we're having the event. It's a hotel in walking distance, actually, from where the event is happening. Come on up, girl. Come on up. But the link, I don't have a mod in here. The link for the tickets. Right now, the early bird tickets are $80. They're $80. The early bird lasts until April the 15th. After April the 15th, general seating is $90. VIP is $110. Tickets are on sale. Hold on, let me get y'all the link if y'all want to buy the ticket. Let me give y'all the link for the ticket. And I hope to see some of you guys there. I think it'll be a great event. Lord, let me get this ticket link. It's hard for me to pin on this channel. It just is. Anyway, but I'm about to drop the link in the chat. If everybody ain't left yet. If everybody ain't left yet. Hold on, y'all. Child. I should have dropped this before. My bad. All right. There's the link for the tickets. Okay. With that being said, y'all, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I think I'm done for tonight. It's 8:30. I'm done for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.